Hello, welcome to Swiss Watch and to another review. Today we're going to talk about the first German brand on this channel. We're going to go across the border from Switzerland and actually visit the little city of Glashütte. Today we're going to talk about A.Lange Söhne, and it's a very special model in particular. We're going to talk about the A.Lange Söhne timezone. For those who don't know, the Swiss watchmaking industry is not the only one who is at the top of their leagues. The German watchmaking industry is also amazing, and they do creative timepieces. Their finishing levels are exquisite, and also I'm going to show you this watch in particular and why this is so special. The A.Lange Söhne timezone is actually a derivative from the Lange 1 collection. It's like a bigger upgrade, so to speak. As you might recognize from the Lange 1, the Lange 1 timezone also has the similar dial configuration, which has the date window at 1 o'clock, the time display at 9 o'clock, and there's also a subsidiary dial here at 5 o'clock. Where at the Lange 1, this is actually the seconds indicator. In this case, it's something else, which I'll explain to you a bit later. Lange Söhne are known for creating very, let's say, dressy watches, and for me, I always have had an admiration for them. At the stage of my life where I'm now, I don't have a Lange watch yet because I don't wear classical timepieces. As soon as I'm gonna start, let's say, considering, buying a classical timepiece like this in a precious metal with a more, let's say, discrete configuration, Lange Söhne is definitely one of the brands I'm gonna look into, probably the first. What you can see immediately is the beautiful attention to detail Lange Söhne watches have. Their production numbers are not that high compared to, let's say, Patek Philippe. But in these days, in modern times, their finishing levels, in my opinion, are much better. Lange Söhne also has a huge collectors community online and offline. So as soon as you buy a Lange Söhne watch and you post it on your Instagram, you'll immediately be part of that family, which is really good because they're very supportive and you can also ask them questions. And again, it's collecting watches. It's a beautiful hobby, You want to share it with people who also appreciate the same things that you appreciate. Who should consider buying a timezone Lange 1 watch, for example, is somebody who travels more frequently or somebody who has their family in not in the same country. The timezone stands for basically what the name stands for, a timezone. It has a second time indication on the dial. The outside ring of this solid silver dial is actually where you can find your different time zones. And it has a red GMT indication, so you can immediately, figure out where to start and how to go forwards or backwards. Let me break down the dial for you guys a bit more, so you can completely understand how to read it, because at the first glance it might look a bit complicated if you're not used to it. At 1 o'clock you have this beautiful big date, which has a nicely finished, like a rose gold type of frame as well. At 3 o'clock you have your power reserve indicator, which is quite big. It says Ab und Auf, that's German, it means down or up, Basically, at this point in the moment now, you see the power reserve is at half of its capacity. When it's fully down, it's empty. When it's up, it's full. It's a manual winding movement and not automatic. So you would need to wind the watch as soon as the arrow or the, let's say, indicator of the power reserve goes down. The most important, feature of this watch for telling time, of course, is the big, or let's say, off-centered main dial, which you can find here at the 9 o'clock position. And also at 5 o'clock, you have your beautifully second time zone indicator. When I said before that the Germans are also very known for their amazing finishing, and the attention to detail Lange Söhne puts just on the dials is incredible. All the gold parts you see on the dial are actually, applied, polished, and also it's real gold. And the seconds hand here at 6 o'clock of the main dial is actually hand blued. You have your small inscription here at 7 o'clock, which says Doppelfederhaus. That means double barrel. This watch and the movement has a 72-hour power reserve and twin barrels. Going back to the main dial, you can see it has Roman numerals at 12, 3, and 9 o'clock, which are applied in gold. And you have your seconds hand at 6 o'clock. The watch actually also has a stop seconds, let's say a mini complication. It means that when you pull the crown out, the seconds hand stops. It helps you to set the time much easier and more precise. So basically what you would do is you would wait until the seconds hand is at 00, or let's say 12 o'clock. You pull out the crown, you set your time, and you have, let's say, the most accurate time indication possible. What you also notice here at 12 o'clock of the main dial is like a small indication with the arrow and a blue half ring across it. It's actually a day and night indicator. Like I said, this watch is a time zone. It's for somebody who likes to travel or has people in a different country, which means you need to know if you call somebody in Asia or the US, for example, if it's daytime or nighttime. You know, you immediately see on the watch, for example. I mean, you can also see it on your phone, of course, but why not have it on the wrist if you can? The day and night indicator is also something the second time zone dial has here at 6 o'clock. So you can see when the arrow points to blue, it's nighttime. When it points to, let's say, the white surface, it's daytime. Very easy to read. What you can also notice on the highly polished rose gold case is you have your crown at 3 o'clock with the A.Lange Söhne logo on it, and you also have two pushers on the side. The push at 11 o'clock here on the side is actually here to help you change the date more quicker. So when you push the pusher, the date window advances for 1 day. The pusher at 7 o'clock is actually here to help you change your time zone much quicker. When you change the time zone, what also happens is on the small sub-dial here at 5 o'clock, the hour advances, and also the day-night indicator goes with it, which is again just a smart idea from A.Lange Söhne, and also very helpful because you need that basically if you want a precise time zone change. What's also very geeky, and I really appreciate it, once you push the pushers and you play with them, the sound is very loud, so you can literally hear the whole dial moving around. Listen closely. I mean, it's just awesome. Once you turn the watch around, you will start marveling at what you see. You see a beautifully finished 3/4 main plate, which the Germans are known for. And the attention to detail in Lange movements is just incredible. Again, in modern times, in my opinion, they beat Patek Philippe for sure. When I mention Patek Philippe is, price-wise, this watch is at around 50,200 Swiss francs. It competes with the Pateks of that same price range, and also you have to look at the quality and execution of the movement and also the dial once you compare with the bigger brands. What you see on the movement, at the first glance you see the, let's say, Geneva stripes, or let's call them Glashütte stripes because it's made in Germany. What also strikes you is the color of the movement. A.Lange Söhne uses German silver, which is a bit more, let's say, darker than your normal Swiss movements and like a bronzish look. I really love it. What you also can admire is the way they finish it. The different finishing styles A.Lange Söhne uses is also, let's say, anglage on the side of the main plate. You have your stripes, but what is also something you notice is they use blued screws. And the chatons in which the rubies are set are also hand polished. The balance cock is actually hand engraved, as well as the other bridge here at 6 o'clock. Again, the attention to detail in their movements is incredible. And for me as a hardcore, let's say, watch enthusiast, A.Lange Söhne movements is always something I look forward to seeing in person. What you can see is also that the case from all sides is highly polished. The lugs, the side, the pushers, and also the buckle, which is beautifully made and engraved with the Lange logo, or let's say the Lange word on it. Let me now put the watch in the wrist, guys, and show you how it looks. It has a beautiful tank buckle. The case is actually 41.9 millimeters wide, which is for my wrist a perfect size for a dress watch. You can see the buckle now, it has a beautiful logo, and the polishing from the side and the front is just immaculate. With the suit jacket I'm wearing today, you can see this watch fits just perfectly. If you have a, let's say, a high-end like business meeting, or you just like to have a dressy watch, A.Lange Söhne, in my opinion, is definitely something you gotta consider when you buy like a watch in this category. It fits under the cuff, Some people wear A.Lange Söhne watches like these also in their everyday life on jeans. I have friends like that. But also, if I would wear a suit every day and I would have to have a classic watch, this would definitely be on my list of watches I want to purchase. If you have any questions about this particular model, the Lange One timezone watch in rose gold, leave a comment down below. I will gladly answer it for you guys. On the side you have a photo of a watch we'll be reviewing next on the channel. It's actually a different iteration than a watch we reviewed before last year. So that was a big hint for you guys to, guess it, which one this is. Leave a comment down below. Thank you for watching and see you soon.